Hey guys, welcome to episode 36. 36 is fabricating or beginning the fabrication of the fuel tank. We talked a little bit about it in episode 35, but at this point now I'm trying to dig into the details and show you what I'm doing to fabricate the fuel tank. This is going to be, I'm looking up here, final touches. So 1, 2, 3 episodes to kind of get through the process of what I used up until the final TIG welding and the fitment. So enjoy, please have fun, and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. Thanks, guys. Hey again. So I popped the rear differential in. She looks good. Finished the brake lines. And as you can see, that's into that area there. Ties into the frame. Anti-vibration. And a hell of a lot of room for up and down movement. More than I need, but still real pretty. Hello. You can see we got the caliper rotated. I clocked that just a little bit. There's still a little bit of, I'm not going to pull it taut, but I mean, there is a little bit more in there. But he gets right to the caliper. There is no stress on that line. So of course I'll have to clock that one just a little bit to get that side. I pulled the tank out. Took a significant amount of time to prepare it, but I did get it tacked. And again, it's all tacked with stainless. And just checking. And I got my penetration. I got my edge. Whoa. So I got a nice flush finish on it. Again, this will get all TIG welded. Then I got a comment back from some of the viewers and said, "Hey, when we saw that pump, looks like it's going to be a lot bigger round than the step, the surface that I intended on mounting it." And indeed it is. Indeed it is. So I was going to grab a tape measure here. So I'm going to have to identify where it goes and go right on out of there. So the pump will be located in an area like that. So, but I got it tacked, so now I can put it in. Got my edges, whoops, where am I at here? My edge is really good. Everything looks good. Everything is flush. So both sides, I mean, it looks really good. It came out really, really good. So at this point, time for me to go to work. It's Friday, but I can get a weekend into this and get some more content, but at the same time, make progress on this chassis. And that's the most important thing to me. Hopefully that axle arrives today and I can have that rear end complete and in. And I don't remember if it was today or Monday, but there is something coming today. I don't know what it is. It might be something for one of the projects for the wife, but all's going very, very well. I'm very happy. I did clock that. I did touch up that little spot. Where the heck is it? Let's see here. Yeah, she dried back now. So wow. I'm starting to get excited. Again, I go through these excitement cycles. I'll have to cut out 2 of those, 2 baffles. But the first order and the reason for tacking it is to get the locations for the sending unit and the fuel pump. It's a Wabro pump. Tanks is the supplier. This is a relatively generic, I don't even know, I think this is a Summit actually brand, 0 to 90, you know. So that you just kind of horse around with the sending unit, shorten it, do whatever you need to do to get it to go the distance of the pump. Relatively easy to set up, but of course I got to locate that, and I got to locate that. So that's the plan. Thanks, folks. All right, here we are. I took you can see the hole. Okay, so those are the locations of these. I put the tank up in there and I just marked them out. Okay, and on the fuel pump, let me grab that, or the fuel pump frame, this guy is going to set in flush with this midsection step, and you'll see that I've got plenty of room. You know, you got to cut it off, and each one of those slots is an increment, a 2-inch increment with adjustment for cutting off for the tray. So he'll sit in there. I only got one hand on the phone and one hand here. Then this is a tray, and you can see it's got an orifice in one end, and that sits toward the front, and the back is the other thing that I had in my hand. So that'll sit in that kind of area, and the fuel will flow into the tray from there. Of course, it'll spill in from the top and take up that space. Okay, and he'll go straight ahead. This is the locking, or the threaded ring that will go on the underside. So now what I'll need to do is, whoop, wrong way. I'm going to cut out the outside of the ring on that surface and the inside of the ring on the area that I'm going to save. Okay, and then I'm going to weld in. I'll have a TIG seam here and here that I'll need to dress. This ring will go in from underneath, and this will be the sealing surface, but I'll drop this as a pocket inside of the tank. And then again, back to the holes, the sending unit then, we grab him. He'll sit in this hole a good fair distance away from that tray, but I'll probably clock it toward the center of the tank. Okay, just so it registers. I'll keep it on the flat area of the tank. Okay, but I got plenty of clearance there. And then 1/3 of the way in, it says BAT, but it's supposed to be BAF. And that's going to be the intersection, or 1/3 of the distance for this baffle. And this will be the second baffle. And I'm segmenting the tank into thirds. The baffles will probably have a significant hole at the midpoint. You know, it'll look a lot like this side, but there'll be a hole here, and there'll be a relief on the bottom, maybe even chop the front so I get adequate fuel flow across the front of the bottom front of the tank to the pump. And but they'll also be structural, so that'll enhance the strength of the tank. And the straps, they land on next to that hole. This is the area where the straps will go through, come around the factory location and tie in. So I'll be midway between, you know, roughly in this area for this strap, and the same thing for this one. So I should have plenty of structure. I'm only 12 and 3/8 of an inch. So at about the 6-inch mark, about midway, I'll be supporting with the strap. But of course we'll have the cap here, the baffle there, plenty of structural integrity on that 37-inch wide tank. So tomorrow, or in the next video, I'll begin the whole process of opening this up. Oh, and last but not least, the fill hole. But of course, that's the factory location. or the location on the factory tank and the opening in the that will be in the rear, the cover, the body cover, the rear valance, I guess, or closeout. And this I will weld a tube on, thread it with a cap, or if I can find a pre-made, not aluminum, stainless one, I can put that into there. So, and then I will vent either from here. I don't know if I'm going to do a rollover valve, but I will certainly at minimum vent this over to the top of the tank so we can breathe both directions in this fuel tank. So there you have it. That's what we got going at this point, and it's late. It's Friday. I'm ready to go settle down. So I kind of got my mock-up done and set the stage for tomorrow when I jump into this thing. So thanks a lot for your time, and we'll go from there. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Okay, got a integrated piece coming. It looks like a truly metal formed piece, but I cut out the circle. He's going to sit on there, and then I'll have to cut the shelf to the shape of the tank so he can get TIG welded in. I'll give you a little hint. What the... But actually, Lisa, my wife, gave it to me. She gave it to me. She didn't need it. But that'll be the well in the tank. It'll be TIG welded in. That's the piece. You can see. Okay. Of course, I got to get the holes in and get everything else popped up on it, but that's how that'll sit in there. Sitting in the... Sometimes leaving a project and going in the house and thinking a bit. But a frying pan, in this case, 16 thou. This is 18. Not 18 thou, gauge. I mean, that's going to provide a nice, stiff, stainless steel, TIGged shelf for that sending unit. I'll get it to the right height. Instead of cutting it off here, I keep that layer going all the way around. Got some trimming and shaving to do once I get the profile set. But this will set on top of here, and because that diameter is a little bit bigger than the sending unit. All I really did was just centered that up, clamped it on, and ran my plasma cutter around it to get you don't have it perfectly centered, but to get the gap the same on either side, which is about 3/16, which is 3/16. Ran my plasma around the ring, and voila. The minor distance in inner diameter doesn't prevent the unit from fitting in there, and the major diameter provides me a nice TIG welding surface to kind of creep around the thing as it sets in there. So I'm happy with it. We'll see how she turns out. Okay, we're taking it in steps, but clean the schnot out of this with a stainless steel wire brush. On a grinder, on a small 1/2-inch arbor grinder, and tacked it all in. So it turned out really, really good. Supported it with the ring on the bottom in every screw hole. So I pulled that sucker flat no matter what, because that plate is it's like 10 gauge. Here you can see it right here on the bottom, and it's threaded and it comes with the fuel pump. So everything's in and looking good. So now I have the access to that. It clears the frame, fuel pump sets in, and I am not at this, I mean, I'm worried, but I'm not at this time going to get overly excited about these bungs. Not yet, anyway. Because, you know, in theory, they're going to land somewhere in this neighborhood, hopefully on the high side, and I can route my lines accordingly and come out here. I'm just not going to get excited, even though I'm a little excited about it, for that yet, because got to live with it. Remember, across this is the bottom of the cab for about an inch. Well, you know, that's the weld, but about an inch and a half at least, so, or at most. So, you know, that's going to be, you know, in that neighborhood there. So if I can get my hose into here, get around that guy, come out, introduce you into there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. See, I told you I'm not excited about it. Anyway, so now I'm going to work on the fuel sending unit, get the hole cut for that. That's going to be a relatively simple one. And get the fuel pump set up for the depth. Maybe I'll do that. Then cut the hole for the sending unit. Some semblance of order here. Sending unit. Fuel fill. I'm going to check online because I might just whap off a piece of my 2-inch exhaust. 2.5-inch exhaust. If I can get a 2.5-inch transition to a fuel fill, I think that would be just cool. And I'll order one of those up with a cap. And then, but 2.5 would be nice, you know, diesel fuel size hole. So, yeah, there we are. Moving along. I just got a fleeting moment thought. If I put a bung right here, or a tube right here, I could run that over to the fuel fill. Now, in theory, it won't be above the fill level, because, you know, this could displace fuel. But if I ran that under into here and then up, yeah, I don't know yet. Dreaming. We'll keep plugging away. Hey folks, well, I got it in. Tank is in, and that's the good news. Mounting went really well. I got it on a jack, so he's putting a little upward pressure on. You can see in this channel, I'm hitting that, I'm hitting the wires. But that's going to have to get dealt with. I'm going to have to deal with that somehow. Don't know yet. But I will overcome it. I know it's not, doesn't touch that, but I don't know what I have for space. Sending units in. The fill hole. I did order just today the cap and threaded fitting. Wanted to get something that I liked, but it's going to be a 2-inch. I believe it's a 2-inch, but it's an 1.5 ID. That's what's most significant. So after I get this all, get that in, then I'll find a piece of tubing that, you know, I can turn it in the lathe if I need to, but something that I can get to an 1.5 ID Really only needs to be something like 16 gauge, but I'll get that later. And then of course I got to figure out a routing for the vent, but I have space right in through here that I can get the vent line running underneath here. Because remember, this is radius, so there's a pretty good shot of it. It says radius, so I can get something turning and then maybe turning out and then running underneath here and then out to this side of the tank or something like that. You know, I just want to be able to get that vent on. Other than that, it turned out really good. And I'm really happy with it. Other than that, I don't even know why I said other than that. It's turning out spectacular. I'm very happy with it. But I think what I want to do is probably hold off on it. I got a little, making the straps. I got those formed around there. They're sitting down there and in there. I'm going to make the mounts because the tank comes forward now. I'll make a hanger. It originally went in this hole. But I'll make a hanger that's maybe triangular shaped with a hole right here, and then weld my threaded fittings on there, and then get that piece of it done, that piece of the puzzle done. Probably tomorrow. That's miscellaneous stuff, but I mean at least it's ready to go. And again, the reason why I want to weld it is I made $2. I was making a cardboard cutout and then a paper cutout. And I noted that there was just a minor variation in difference. And of course, when I rolled it, I think it was in the roll because we used the backstop all the way through the brake and that front radius right there. But I must have shifted a little in the roller. And it's minor. It's minor and it comes out. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of 3¼ inch plywood, screwed them together. I've unscrewed them now. And then you can see I basically cut them at a taper on a mirror image, right? So as they were together, I didn't interrupt this pattern. And what I can do is I'll plug them in to each end. And it'll push it into shape. And then when he throws the heat on the thing for welding it, it won't twist out of shape. So then I'll come back and I'll make my end pieces and my center baffles. My biggest concern, of course, is to get any twist in it. There's going to be a lot going on here. It's tacked up, but there's going to be a lot going on. So I want to make sure that I avoid any possibility of problems with it. So I'm very, very, very happy though. Man, it turned out spectacular. So there we have it. That's the status of the day. And it's time for me to go inside. More on it tomorrow. Good morning again. Okay, here we have, you can see, those are the brackets. I fabbed those up this morning. So those move then, these 2 holes then move that. That was the original tank mount, move that out so I can accommodate that shelf, right? The original tank just wrapped around from there. So I come out and I come more vertical. On the original brackets, so they wrapped around, they went up into the hanger. There's probably a better view on there, one there. And they went in, and then the tank itself, as it wrapped around the tank, pinched that together. And then up in this area then, you see the 2 holes there on that one. In this case, those 2 holes were hammer rivets to attach the threaded rod. Go over here, I'm making a similar deal. Plasma cut out 2 strips. Oh, get one that works here. 2 strips. And I did a similar mechanism up here. Only this time I'm going to straighten out that line, and I'm going to put 2 rivets in here. 2 small rivets, and that's just going to hold it together. There's not going to be a lot of stress there, but he too will wrap around the tank. And now, of course, this tank is rounded in the back and then a flat belly, and then rounds up. And as soon as I get around the corner, then I'm going to cut it at this location. I made these plenty long, but cut it at this location. And then I'm going to attach it to 2 pieces of threaded rod, all thread, that I've hammer formed. And I might continue to hammer form them, maybe get them in the press and try to squish them a little bit more too. And then those will be either riveted or attached to that, welded to that. I'll probably just weld them. I've got the stainless steel welder. And then voila. You might need to trim these a little bit. That doesn't matter, depending on how high up they go. It looks like from this standpoint, though, where they come through the hole, I mean, I've got infinity and beyond, you know, but just to keep them looking pretty, I'll come up through the hole and get them to an acceptable height. But yeah, so there you have it. That's the fun project for the morning here. And it's taken me where I need to go. So onto the straps. I'm going to go try to find some rivets. I'll probably use steel rivets. If I can find stainless steel rivets, I'll run up to save big money and see if I can't find some steel rivets, or stainless rivets. If I can do that, then I've got a better gun than that. I'm trying to size, but I'm trying to see what I can do here, and if I can find some, that's where I'll go, because then I won't have any rust. All right, thanks, gents, women. Have a good day.